The Milwaukee County Poor Farm Cemeteries operated from 1884 until 1975. Over 7,000 people were discarded in their unmarked graves. If a proper burial could not be purchased, then this was the punishment. This is the story of Wilhelmina Rosche, who was forced to abandon 6 children in their fields. She would never recover from the pain and eventually be driven to take her own life. Known as Minnie, she came to Milwaukee from Prussia in 1864. She married a man named Frank Rosche and settled to build a family in 1875. She would have 13 children and be forced to bury 7, beginning with the first. Heinrich, born in 1877, died soon after birth. Neither his death or burial were recorded. But, in spite of the loss, the family would swell quickly, growing to 9 children by 1894. It was that year which would seal Minnie's fate. Milwaukee was hit by both an economic depression and an outbreak of diphtheria in 1894. The Rosches were not the only family to bury children. Over the course of 10 days, Minnie's children would die until only 4 remained. 15-year-old Alvina was the first to die. She was interred quickly in the adults' farm, recorded incorrectly as Alween in the register. 4-year-old Lucia was the second, followed 3 days later by her brother and sister. 12-year-old Willie and 2-year-old Vrone died the same day. The final child to die was 10-year-old Rosa. Burial in the poor farms would bar Minnie's children from both consecration and identity in death. The 4 younger children were buried together, but 12-year-old Willie was too large. To be fit within an infant's coffin, his legs were broken and bent to his torso before he was placed in the dirt alongside his sisters. When the children were exhumed, it was this context which gave them their names. It is one of the tragedies of Minnie's life that she would never know this. Minnie, Frank, and the 4 remaining children would survive 1894. But in 1899, one more child would be consigned to the farms. Of a pair of twins born that year, Francis and Gustav, the latter would survive for only 5 months before joining his brothers and sisters. Minnie could never recover from the damage done by the farms. 9 years after baby Gustav, she chose to end her pain. Minnie's death would damn her to the same fate as her children, barred from consecration and identity. Religious cemeteries turned away bodies for 2 main reasons: lack of payment and suicide. But Minnie would be saved from the poor farms by those who loved her. Unlike her children, who were interred, unmarked, and forgotten, she was allowed to persist. She was given a proper burial and connection in death. Today, her headstone sits in Milwaukee's Union Cemetery,